So this video is one in a series we're doing about the business issues that Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Sales addresses. And the issue we're going to talk about today is leads that fall between the cracks. So for a lot of organizations, the handling of leads is relatively manual. So the marketing manager might get alerted to a new lead by email, and then they disseminate that out to the person they think is best positioned to follow that up. But after that, after it's got sent out, typically you're going to lose visibility of it and what's happened to it. And I think what happens is some leads get followed up quickly, others get followed up, but not very quickly. And quite a lot of leads don't get followed up at all, perhaps because people missed the email or got distracted by other things or just didn't think the lead was worth following up. So that sort of visibility is a bit of an issue. It's also a problem for longer term leads as well. Leads that aren't going to convert now, but might convert, 6 months, 12 months down the road. The problem with those is that salespeople often focus on the sort of here and now, the immediate priorities, and they're not necessarily good at nurturing those longer term leads. So that's a problem. It's also a problem for the marketing team in terms of sort of understanding which of their leads are converting, which campaigns are the most successful, and which aren't. So the solution for a lot of organizations is to use lead management in products like Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Sales. Now, before I talk about the setup for that, just to say, if you are using Dynamics and you feel you'd like to get a bit more out of it, then if you want some guidance on best next steps, then feel very free to reach out. I'll put a link below. Always happy to chat about with people about their particular situation. So if we are getting leads coming through, typically we're going to use the leads area within Dynamics. Now, it's not absolutely entirely true. The leads area is almost a sort of staging area for leads that are coming into the business. So you can imagine we will get some spam stuff or some inquiries about things we just don't do. We don't necessarily want that data going to the system. Leads is a sort of holding area, and then we can convert that into other records. But if we're getting any volume of leads, perhaps we're doing quite a lot of advertising, online advertising, we're getting a volume of leads coming through our contact us page on the website, we're probably going to create them as lead records and then convert them on from there. So the idea with lead management is to use leads. We don't want to give people the ability to delete leads. We kind of want a sort of closed loop. A lead come to the system, we got visibility from when it arrived in our system to when it was either disqualified or qualified. And we don't lose track of any leads. So that's an important concept. Now, typically, you want to have lead management integrated. So if somebody signs up on your Contact Us page or on one of your landing pages, that automatically creates a lead record within the system. You also might want to set it up so that if somebody's using, say, inquiries at email addresses, that creates a lead record in the system. Or maybe that creates an email record within the system that's handled through a queue that you can convert that email to a lead. You're just trying to make it nice and easy for leads to come in without somebody having to manually create them in the system. So that integration is really important. On top of that, if you wanted to, and particularly if you've got quite a big distributed organization, then you might want to have some sort of auto allocation. So there's a lead allocation capabilities within Dynamics that can automatically route people based on all sorts of different criteria, and so the leads are getting to the right people quicker. Now, in terms of the lead record itself, I just open one of these up. This is very much a test set of data, as you can see. Now, this is the data I'm tracking on my lead. So effectively what gets filled in on a form can come into the CRM system. We can add data to that, and we can, through the business process flow engine here, we can actually make sure that whoever's qualifying these leads qualifies it on the basis that we want to. So that sort of walks people through all the steps they need to take. We can have lead scoring in the system as well. If I've got an example of that particular capability here. We can also have alerts coming in when people get allocated a lead, just in case they're not in the system. So we've got a lot we can do in terms of making sure people are aware of leads as they come in. And then we can also have, and we just go out to the leads area, you've got the concept of views. You can create your own views, you can create your own system views, you can create your own personal views with all sorts of filters and edit what columns of data are displayed here, so that you can make sure that you've got visibility, all the leads allocated to you, allocated to your team, and be able to sort of track them through the whole cycle. So say this closed loop approach is really powerful. We can make sure that leads get into the system quickly, they're allocated to the right people quickly, they're followed up quicker. The quicker we followed up leads, typically the conversion rate gets higher. We know they are going to be actioned, or if they're not actioned, we're going to know about it. And overall, we're going to get a higher conversion rate. The whole lead management process is a lot less manual, it's a lot more automated, so that improves productivity. And from a marketing standpoint, it's much clearer as to what's happened to leads and which ones have converted, and ultimately which ones have turned into end business and end customers, and potentially track all the way through the life of a customer and the amount of money that customer is spending with us. That gives a much truer picture on which campaigns, which lead sources are the most productive. Anyway, that's a quick sort of introduction into why Dynamics 365 is a very powerful way of addressing the issue of leads between the cracks, and just taking you through some of the basic setup elements that you would have in place to address that. There's a wide range of things you can do with lead management, and we've kind of just touched on that, but it can be a very powerful way of getting control of lead allocation and upping your lead conversion rates. Anyway, that's it from this video. As I mentioned, if you need any help with Microsoft Dynamics, then see the links below if you want some assistance. This is one in quite a range of videos that we've done on Dynamics 365 for Sales, so feel free to check those out. But anyway, hopefully catch up with you again soon.